Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. Hello, everyone. Ooh, that's loud. That's playing out loud. Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to my channel, The Law Mistress. We are here today and very well aware that Christmas might already be over, but we will be playing today a festive themed game, nevertheless, called the Wassailing of Claus Manor. We are, in fact, playing our second game of this, but this is a brand new cast for this particular one shot. And we played last week. So welcome, and if you were here last week, I hope you enjoyed it, and we're here playing again. If you're new to this, then hi. This will be a brand new experience for you, potentially, and I hope that you enjoy it thoroughly. To start with, I will quickly introduce myself. I'm Kat, known on the internet potentially as the Law Mistress. That's probably what people might know me more as. Literally no one calls me that, really, though. And I am a writer, streamer, all of that stuff. And I recently became affiliate on this channel, so woo! Go me! What a great New Year present that was. I will be facilitating this game. And I will start with a little bit of content warning, bits and bobs before we get into it. So we are doing safety. Obviously, or not obviously, but you might have noticed in the intermission screens beforehand that some of the music was perhaps not as jolly and bright as you might have thought it would be. So this is going to be a horror game, or at least a horror leaning game. So you might find some violence, blood, light body horror, occultism, summonings, hints at harm to magical reindeer, and hints at harm to naughty children. However, if any of that, it's great that you're all here, but if any of that doesn't really sound like your jam, then I would rather that you all protect your headspace, and maybe find something different to watch. But I appreciate you turning up nonetheless. That being said, let's get into introducing my lovely players then. And what I would like you to do, players, the first part of this game is character creation, which we have done off screen. So I would like my players to introduce themselves and their own pronouns, but I would also like you to introduce your characters. Tell us their name and pronouns, and also their role within the manor, a little bit about their background, and perhaps their seniority, how long they've been here, just a little bit about your character. So let's go in the order that I see over here before me. Ren, that's you. Let's start with Ren.
Hi, hello. I'm Ren. Pronouns are they, them. And tonight, I'm going to be playing Florian Anikap. He, he pronouns are they. He's been here a few months. He originally came from a farm, but he's the cook. So he's there chefing it up. And I think that was my occupation, background. What else?
I think that was everything. I'm
Right.
so enamored by your accent that I'm just completely just lost all sense of where I am. But yeah, I think that was everything. Yes, I think we got with the cook. You've been there a few months. You just come from the farm. So I think that's pretty much everything that we need to know about Florian, unless there's any other things that you wanted to reveal.
I will get to it later.
We'll get to it later. All right. All right then. thank you so much, Florian/Ren. Let's move on then to Anna. Tell us, please, about yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Anna, though I also go by Riley. I use they them pronouns. I'm literally on the internet everywhere at Peculiar Planets, and I will be playing Julie Jingle, she, they pronouns. They are like kind of a street urchin, grew up on the streets. She did little odd jobs everywhere, has a knack for stealing things, pickpocketing, and today will be her first day as a housekeeper at the Claus Manor. Yeah, sure, I don't know what could go wrong when you come from the streets and do odd
A
jobs and then
housekeeper that has a knack for stealing things.
exactly.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong here.
Nothing will go wrong there.
All right. Thank you so much. Anna. Next up, Rara.
Hello, I'm Rara. I play games under Rara, but I'll be playing Candle Thistleberry. He's an ex-clergy chauffeur whose heart is just overwhelmed with Christmas joy. It's his second Christmas here, but it finally feels like home. Last time he felt a little like a guest, and it's good to feel home.
Oh, I love Candle already, and I don't want anything bad to happen to Candle. Which is unfortunate. So, moving on to our last but certainly not least, tell me, Wraith. Tell me who you are. Tell me who your character is.
I'm Wraith, they, them pronouns. You can find me on mostly just Twitter and here at Slender Noia. Today I'm going to be playing Violetta Snowbell, she, they pronouns. She is a maid from the city. She's been here a little over a year now, so around the time that Candle came, but it's work. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
There's also a cat at my feet, so if I keep looking down, it's because she's trying to climb my leg.
It's fine. Anyone who has been on my channel in any way, shape, or form at all understands cat troubles and interruptions. So do not worry about that in the slightest. I am absolutely enamored by all of your character names, and I really just think that you all just really leaned into like Christmassy names, and I love it. All right, just before we begin, one last little announcement. We are running a giveaway for this game. In fact, we are running for 3 lucky people to win copies of this game. So Moobot, as usual, just knows exactly what I need when I need it. Has kindly written in, but it's actually 3, not 2. I thought that I had changed that, but never mind. We are running for 3 copies will be given away of the Wassailing of Claus Manor, kindly donated by the team and by a couple of players. So just !wassail, which now that I'm saying out loud, I'm like, that's not the easiest word to spell, but it's written there and you can see it. So feel free to !wassail and you will be entered with a chance to win. All right, so that being said, let's get into it. In this story that we will be telling, it is the dawn of the 20th century. Amid foreboding war and festering industry, the North Pole has reached a breaking point. A lavish lifestyle, generational torch passing, and the demands of an exploding world population have pushed the inhabitants of Claus Manor to embrace some rather unusual forms of the holiday spirit. And all too quickly, the manor could turn into the epicenter of Bedlam. Unbeknownst to most of our world's inhabitants, however, there might not be a Christmas again if it isn't for the patience and cunning of the Claus family's servant staff. Unsung valets of joy here in the thick of winter. And so here you are, days before Christmas, and all through the house, everything stirs and strange things are roused. What we will be doing in this first portion of the game is a little bit of world building. We're going to start to kind of build up our manor a bit and figure out what's kind of going on there, give some things for my lovely players to interact with throughout the game. I have asked you all to have a think about some questions, and let me just get those up so that I can remember what I asked you. And we will go round again in the same order. And I would like you, essentially what we will do is each of my players have one question about the place, so the manor itself, and one question about the people. They've had a little think about it, but they are most welcome to kind of build off of each other's ideas and sort of change things up about their answers as time goes on. And then we will take a break, and then we will get into the game itself. So, get it up. All right. Ren, we are starting with you. So, your question about the place. You were asked, which room do the Clauses plan on renovating? And what hideous new element is already in place?
Right. So, the Clauses plan on renovating the dining hall, and yes, and the hideous item that's currently in place. They've installed a new table, but it's not really a table. It's in the shape of what might be a table, but it is like it's a cradle of sharpened deer antlers, and
Ooh.
cradled within it are porcelain doll legs. So,
Oh my goodness. New table shaped thing.
yes,
Right. It's a new table shape. So deer antlers,
Yes.
and then the center is like doll legs.
Yes,
Hideous is correct. Right. Okay.
I understand the assignment.
Yes, you certainly understood this one. New table shaped deer antlers with doll legs. All right. Wow. Just like picturing it. Yes, table shape thing. Okay, so and they're planning to renovate the dining room just a little bit more than that.
Yes.
But that's the centerpiece. That's where they started off. Do you know what? Our fun. Which member of the Claus family do you think decided that this was the thing to install?
I think maybe Gertrude, the Mrs. of the house.
Mrs. Do you know what? That makes sense. Gertrude's idea. Just so that our lovely players can be aware that if they do reference this and they are speaking to Gertrude, maybe to, just be aware that this was Gertrude's idea. All right. So then the people. Ren, tell me, who do you suspect is a bit of a thief? What valuable thing are you sure that they're hiding somewhere? And I will also just say, for the benefit of the audience at home, that you are allowed to choose a member of the Claus family. You are allowed to choose one of your fellow players, or a sort of NPC that's kind of not noted and will become notable. That being said, if you do choose one of your fellow players, which is quite often a fun thing to do, they get to choose whether the rumor is true. So even if it's a rumor that's kind of spread about them, they can choose whether it is factually correct or not.
Right. So for who's a bit of a thief, I think Florian thinks that Vi might have stolen a bit of a crystalline cookie jar that's she might have hidden somewhere in her bedroom, but that's fine. He's not a snitch, he's not gonna tell. It's just very expensive, and if one of the clauses come looking for it,
they might lose their job.
And maybe. So if she could return it, it would be nice.
Okay, so crystalline cookie jar, and it may be Violetta that has stolen this. I will allow Rafe to have a little think about whether Rafe wants that to be true or not. But that's certainly, it does not say that that's necessarily a rumor going round. It's just something that Florian personally believes.
Yeah.
So whether you want to spread that as a rumor or not, that's absolutely up to you. But I believe you just said you were not a snitch, so I'm imagining you're keeping it to yourself, at least for now. Cool. All right. Thank you very much for answering those questions. We shall move on then to Anna. The place first. Which room is rumoured to be haunted? And what unfortunate event is rumoured to bind the presence here? Ooh, that's an intriguing one. I like that one.
So the place that is rumored to be haunted are the stables, the reindeer stables. And it's said that there years ago was a stable hand who was new to the job and was told specifically to feed the reindeer on time or else they get grumpy. And this person had a lot of experience working with animals. Like, you know what, they can wait 5 minutes. It's usually not that bad. So they showed up late for feeding time, like 5 minutes, found that all the reindeer somehow were out of their stables. And that was kind of the last that was heard of this person. It's said that the reindeer have killed them, but no one has confirmed it. It's more of a
no one has confirmed it.
No,
so
no one's
family,
confirmed that it was a
family
reindeer.
are keeping very hush hush on this matter.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh yes, okay. So stables are haunted. Stable hound was new, showed up late to feeding time, and allegedly the reindeer were out and snacked on them instead.
Yeah. Allegedly, yeah.
Family keeping that very quiet. All right. Oh, can't spell. Okay. So, thank you for that. Let's pop that by the stables over here. And then let's move on then to your next question, which was about the people. What about the last dismissal of a staff member convinced you never to fall to the same fate?
So another kind of rumor is that the last staff member that was dismissed mysteriously died a couple of days later. It's rumored to be poisoning, but once again, it's just a rumor, but it is enough of a rumor that Julie is like, maybe I should be careful. It was very much of a strange coincidence that right after being dismissed, this person died of suspected poisoning.
Suspected poisoning. And they hadn't shown any kind of ill health symptoms beforehand?
No.
I believe, it's your character's first day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
your predecessor? Do you think the person that
I think so.
the person that was doing the job before you?
Yeah,
That would be
I think so.
interesting. Okay, so suspected poisoning. As if they could ever.
Maybe ate like a wrong cookie or something before they left, or
Could well be. Let me see. You are the housekeeper. Yes. Previous housekeeper. All right. Thank you very much for that. Let's put that up there so that you can all see it. Try and make it big. Okay. Right. Well, thank you. And we shall move on then to Rara. Let me just find the questions. Yes. So the questions about the place. So where allegedly did a crime once occur here in the manor? And why weren't the authorities called?
Well, I slightly disagree with allegedly. That would come down to your definition of crime. Here's what happened. I was there, wrapped my heart, and hoped to die. Somebody came into the library and tried to burn all of the books on the origin of Santa Claus. We can argue all day on whether or not that's a crime, but it's sad, and I don't like it. We didn't call the constables because they're all on the naughty list. So we didn't really think that was something wise to do. It was a hard day for everyone.
On the origin of Santa Claus. And did you just say that all the constables were on the naughty list?
Oh, yes. Most of the time, yes.
Most of the time, I imagine so. The origin of Santa Claus. That's intriguing in itself. I love that.
Yes. We got the fire out though, so Christmas miracle in July. At the time.
In July. Okay. On naughty list. All right. And Candle, tell me, do you know what happened to the person that tried to set alight to the place?
See, at the time I was rather new. So I'm not sure if they kept a secret from me and being untrustworthy, but from what I heard is they did not catch who or what or why. I'm afraid to ask. I'm sure Mr. Claus would tell me if he felt I was ready to know. I trust him quite a bit.
Allegedly, the person was never caught.
Definitely a crime, though.
100% a crime. Allegedly, the person was never caught. All right. So let's pop that over here by the library. Okay, and your question about the people then. What cryptic thing did Cornelius, the groundskeeper, tell you the last time you visited his shed?
One night, Cornelius and I were talking about angels and drinking eggnog, as we like to do on Tuesdays. He got a little deep in his nog, if you know what I'm saying. And he mentioned to me that Rudolph, once upon a time, was an elf. I said, a what? And he said, an elf. I asked him the next morning. He denied it head to toe, but I know what I heard.
Rudolph was once an elf?
According to Cornelius. I'm not saying that's from me.
He was a little drunk on eggnog, though.
Yeah, deep in his nogs, Cornelius, yes.
Cornelius.
Classic Corn.
Classic Cornelius. And denied it the next morning.
He did. Almost pretended like I'd made the whole thing up. Can you believe that?
I can't. That's disgusting.
Corn's usually sweeter than that.
So have you ever asked anyone else about this?
No, we have a lot of turnover. A couple people went missing. It seems they passed on, which was confusing. It seems like a very peaceful place, but I heard today we hired a new housekeeper, so that should be good. But I took some time off, went to Barcelona for a week, found my inner self, came back, and everything seemed to be fine after that.
Curious, very curious. All right. I'm absolutely loving all of these so far. I guess then we should head over to Violetta and see. So, the question about the place, Wraith. Why has one of the rooms become a destination for moonlit trysts? Who do you claim to have stumbled upon in the act?
Well, see, I started that rumor myself because I just wanted to, if anyone ever wanted to invite me there, I would know what they were getting at. It was the library. It did backfire a little bit on me because the last housekeeper was the one I said I stumbled on, and then they went missing. And then, so...
Oh no, did you get that housekeeper fired?
Not intentionally. Maybe they did something else that got them fired, and it was just very poor timing.
Oh yes, that's probably it. Absolutely. So, we've got another thing about the library then. So the library is allegedly where moonlight trysts take place. And you started that rumor yourself. Because you wanted to be invited. I love that. I mean, to be fair, now if someone invites you there in the dead of the night, they're either inviting you there for a tryst or to burn some books. It's one or the other.
Or to get me fired.
Or to get you fired. The entire Claus Manor.
That kind of backfired a little bit.
To be invited. About the last housekeeper. Okay, and then your other question. Okay, so who then is rumored to have buried a body somewhere on the estate, and whose body is it rumored to be?
Okay, well, see, I don't know if it's a rumor so much as maybe it was a joke in poor taste, but when I got hired, the lady of the house joked that the last maid had done something so terrible that she had to be buried in the estate. I think it was a joke, to make sure that I didn't step out of line. But, well.
Wow. Lady Gertrude. Ah, that classic Lady Gertrude sense of humor. Buried the body of the last maid in the garden. Amazing. I'm gonna just write. It was just a joke. Probably. Did it work as a tactic?
I mean, there may or may not be a crystalline cookie jar in my room, so.
Confirmed. Okay, well, there may or may not be. That would be interesting to find out. All right then. So we have then our questions have been answered. We're literally about half past, so we're not really that far in at all. I am happy if you like to maybe start playing and kind of get some tasks get you thinking about tasks, and then we can maybe take a break and give you a little bit more time to think about your tasks, and then come back. Does that sound good? So let me just have a little look at what I'm doing here. So the way that this is going to work, as you so for those of you that are watching and don't know this game, obviously it's only just kind of been funded on Kickstarter, but it is rooted in the trophy system. So if anyone has ever played the trophy system, then the kind of the way that the dice rolling and everything works is the same as trophy. What we start with is I will go round and we will RP a scene in which our lovely servants here will be given a task to do by a member of the Claus family, and they will be able to think about how they might want to achieve such tasks. Their backgrounds and their roles give them certain skills that they'll be able to use to kind of get those tasks going. Once they have received their task and they've had a little think about it, they might choose to do what's called passing a duck token onto someone else. And what that basically entails is you are delegating. So those of you that are a little bit more senior have duck tokens, which means that you can delegate your jobs to someone else, and they will have to think about how they're going to achieve your task as well as their own. If you choose not to do that, however, you will be doing the rolling for your own task. We will then go back round and you will kind of lay out your plan to me. If you're using your skills, you will take a light die. If you choose to receive assistance or take a twist, which I will explain if that's something that you choose to do, then you will receive another light die, and then you may also take a devil's bargain, which will give you a dark die, and then we will be rolling to see which die yields you the highest result. But we'll get to the dice rolling and do that in more detail when we get there. So let's start with our lovely Florian. Who is going to, so I need to draw here to see who is going to chat with Florian. Florian, tell me, where do you think that you would be found if a member of the family wanted to come and find you?
Depending on the time of day, Florian's probably in the kitchen. I'm not sure how often they like to eat, but I'm sure it's very detailed meals that he's just getting his head around. So he's probably working very hard and furiously in the kitchen.
I think that if I know my Santa Claus, I think that they like to eat quite often. Probably when you're not making or like getting the meals ready, you're probably making endless batches of cookies, glasses of milk constantly that are being kind of taken to the office of the Lord of the Manor, and probably plenty of eggnog for Gertie. Who might be just a little bit more stressed out than her husband at times. All right, well, you're in the kitchen then, and you've probably just finished breakfast preparations. You're kind of like in the process of kind of tidying everything away, having to think about lunch, because it's always kind of thinking about the next meal. And you turn around to find in the doorway Yolnir Claus. What you know about Yolnir, he is the adopted son of the Clauses, and he is the heir to Claus Manor. You know this because he reminds everyone of it frequently. He is somewhat wayward. As many little lads aspire to be, Yolnir is precocious, occasionally a little bit rude. Unusually, considering his age, he perpetually sports very well-pressed formal wear of his own volition, so he's not told that he has to wear all these nice clothes. He just does it. And you would be forgiven for mistaking him for an old soul that is unable to disguise himself as a child. He, like all the Clauses, thinks of little besides ways to spread revelry across the winter solstice. But unlike his eldest, he has yet to find his own groove. So he pesters all that he can with endless questions about what's required to run the manor. You'll probably find him eager to absorb every expertise, but he will often remind people unprompted that one day he will be running the manor, and so it pays to remain on his good side. It's just sort of finding his groove, I suppose, as the heir. And he does always have this habit of appearing whenever a staff or family member does something that is a little contrary to the Christmas spirit, asking if there's some way that he could help them improve their outcomes. So, you are sort of just packing everything away, and you find in the doorway young Yolnir is here. He just suddenly appears, it seems, from nowhere, and he kind of leans in and he says, "What you doing?"
Florian just takes the rag that he has and slings it over. Just, oh, young Master Claus, I'm just tidying up. Just finished breakfast, you know. I'm sure you'll be having had that, and then I'm just thinking about what we're gonna cook for lunch. Maybe a nice roast.
What are you thinking of cooking for lunch?
Oh, you know, some nice ground vegetables. You know, maybe some nice potatoes. Maybe a nice piece of I don't know, how do you feel about some nice beef roast?
Lamb's better.
Lamb, we could do lamb. We do have lamb if that's what you're liking. Not.
I like everything you cook.
Oh, well, that's awful nice of you to say. I'm very glad that you're pleased with my
Where do
performance.
the ingredients come from? Where do you get them from?
Oh, well, there are vendors, you know, I'm in contact with, and they send stuff out to the manor. And then I'm sure your wonderful parents, great providers that they are, they pay them. So
his expression sours a little bit when you say wonderful parents, but he doesn't make any commentary.
okay.
And it sort of occurs to you, Florian, that Yolnir is not supposed to be here with you. He's supposed to be taking lessons right now. He's supposed to be in class with his tutor.
How old is he approximately?
I would say that he is probably about 15.
15. Oh, okay, so not a small child. Okay. Right, young master. I was thinking maybe you're meant to be. Aren't you meant to be with one of your tutors? You know.
Well, firstly, Florian, I'm not meant to be doing anything. I am the young lord of the manor, and I am quite capable of doing whatever it is I like.
Course.
But were I to want to be in lessons, I couldn't be anyway because he quit.
Oh, when did he quit?
About 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
Nothing that I did, of course.
Well, of course not. Wasn't accusing you of anything, but I was just wondering if perhaps you was one of those in the know. Then you could be telling me why he might have quit.
Well, we just had a bit of a disagreement, I think.
Disagreement.
Sometimes sometimes that happens in the adult world. People disagree and they part ways. Artistic differences, that kind of thing.
Artistic.
Very
Sure.
artistic differences. We were taking an art class.
Right. Art class. Well,
he didn't like my Christmas cards.
What was in them for him not to like them?
Why don't you tell me about what you do?
Oh, well, young master, I don't think you'll find it that interesting, but you could stay and shadow me. I'm not too sure.
Really?
If that's what you're wanting to do, as you said, you're the lord of the manor.
His
You can do
eyes
as you
completely
please.
light up. You've just opened the door to incessant questions from this boy. I feel like just the moment that you realise what you've just said.
Seeing his eyes light up, Florian just starts to sweat.
It just feels like the little sweat drop. He goes, here's the thing, I do kind of need to find something to fill the time with, because it was a mutual understanding between the tutor and I, but Mother might not quite understand that in the same way that you do. So
Right.
I was just wondering if I could spend a little bit of time with you, and you could find something interesting to occupy my time with. And I promise I'll try not to ask too many questions, but I'm interested, so you should be thankful that I do. And I don't know, then maybe mum will just sort of not be too mad if I'm trying to show that I'm trying to learn about the manor,
Well, of course. I mean, all the nooks and crannies of the manor are going to be your purview one day. Sure.
Absolutely.
Of course.
I'll be in charge, and I'll remember this kindness.
Oh, well, thank you, young master. Find something interesting for you to do.
Yes. So that is your task. You must now think of a way of teaching Yone a lesson on a topic of your choice. He does not seem to be particularly fussy about what he learns. However, it must be engaging. It must hold his interest. And maybe for the sake of your own sanity, not provoke too many questions, or at least answer them before he can ask them. And that in itself will be very challenging. But he seems agreeable to the idea that you will teach him something, and he wants to be taught something that he doesn't know. So therein lies your task.
The sweat thickens. Okay.
So before I move on, I wanted to ask you: do you have a duck token to spend, and are you planning on delegating this to anyone, or are you wanting to take on this task yourself?
I do have a duck token, but I don't think Florian thinks anything of it. It's actually as stressed out as it's making him. It's actually a little bit entertaining at the same time. So, so I think he's happy to do this.
Perfect. That's fine then. All right. Then we will move along while you have a think about what you're going to do. We will move along to Riley. Riley, who is going to be your person? Riley, where do you think we would find you?
So I think Julie would be in the entry, because I feel like she's starting her job as a housekeeper and sort of starts from like the front and works her way back through the house. So I guess in the entryway, just trying to like figure out, has maybe like a little cart or something like that keeps all the cleaning supplies, and is trying to figure out what goes where, what stuff needs. She has little experience with these kind of things. Yeah, just trying to figure out like how to do this job essentially.
I was just trying to be like, how do I?
Yeah. The sense they're like with like the supplies, like, right, where do I start?
Looking a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
All right. So as you're kind of just sort of admiring the entryway, and trying to figure out exactly what it is that you're doing in this moment, because you would hate to end up like the last housekeeper, of course. You suddenly the door to the manor opens, and in steps General Dead Moroz. He is the half brother to Lord Claus, and he is the general of the North. Long ago, this is well known amongst everyone. Long ago, an arcane war between good and evil played out across the now barren expanses of the North. Few remained alive on either side of the conflict, ushering in the era of humanity and its relatively quick and frequent reproductive cycle. Surviving immortals and their lines acted as sentinels, fostering the widespread of humanity and safeguarding it from a resurgence of dark forces. The Claus lineage were assigned the former, and the Moroz family the latter. So, essentially, the Claus family are sort of there to foster humanity and sort of make them jolly and happy, and the Moroz family are there to safeguard from resurgence of dark forces. He is retired from his military service and attempts to acclimate to civil society in the domain of his half-brother. However, some memories stick like scars, and he delights in any open ear about his sort of tales of his battles, and shows deep gratitude for his audience's patience. And I think that, Julie, you would have probably, like, you know, you'd have been sort of shown around by staff members. You would have a small understanding of this, that he at least, he likes to tell stories. Just be patient with him. Listen to what he has to say. Despite his battle-marred appearance and icy ghost of a left eye, staff generally do see Dead as the warmest and most sincerely friendly member of the family. I think the only other thing that you would have heard is that he has recently been talking more and more about these tales of grand battles, particularly against Baba Yaga and the nefarious woodland elves who allied with her in the 12th and 13th centuries. He sort of like walks his way in and sort of stamps his boots, and he's like, oh, hello, Julie, is it?
Yes, hi. And offers like a hand. Julie Jingle, nice to meet you.
Ah, my lady. And then just kind of like takes the hand and gives it a little kiss, and sort of straightens up. I was just taking a constitutional. I'd like to take walks.
I like to take walks too. It's very good. Very good for you.
Oh, really? You like to take walks? Yeah. That's nice. It's nice to have someone that kind of appreciates those kind of things. You do. I'm sorry, I've been most rude. Do you know who I am?
I think I've heard of it. General, right?
Yes. A hard-won title, I must say.
Well, of course.
I mean, about how I fought in the wars.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some things, but I'm always interested in hearing more. I like a good story. Well, nothing but good things. Just how heroic you were.
Yes. Well, you had to be. You had to be in the face of danger and death and just it was Baba Yaga has just, she absolutely terrorized the north. You understand? Yeah, come, sit down for a minute.
All right,
Okay, you can tell them that I said you could. And he kind of leads you to a chair, and he kind of he begins, and he, as you sort of sit, he remains standing, and he's sort of like pacing up and down as he's like recounting this tale of a 12th century battle between him and Baba Yaga, and how close it was. I looked her straight in the eye. She kind of flew at me in her flying cauldron, and he kind of is looking to you for your reaction as he sort of finishes up his tale.
First of all, they're just happy that they don't have to work. They're just like, it's fine. They're just like, let me this man waste my time because he said it's fine. So, and I feel like she's, at least like paying attention and like reacting to like to the things that he's saying, sort of trying to give him the reaction that they think he's looking for. Mainly just to be in his good graces. It's not entirely ingenuine. Like I think there are some elements where she's like, oh, that's actually quite interesting, and then at some point it's like the longer it goes on, it, like she struggles more and more to like be genuine in her reactions, but she does really try.
Honestly, it's like the story itself is not uninteresting. It's just that the Dear General has a bit of a problem with getting to the point. And sort of likes to sort of very much embellish and elaborate on the very minor details that are perhaps not quite so important to the story. So you're there for a good half an hour, I think, just on this sort of like one small section of the battle, and eventually kind of finishes up. And as you kind of like have this reaction, he's just like, oh, it's so refreshing to have a new face around here that can appreciate my stories. I'm beginning to feel like maybe people are getting a little bored of listening to me talk. I probably tell the same stories over and over again. It's such an exciting time to live. Dangerous, but exciting.
I mean, it's interesting for sure. Have you ever thought about writing a book, maybe?
I have been thinking about that recently. And it could be something quite spectacular if I did.
Like reach a bigger audience and give lectures and stuff like that. I think that could be interesting.
You know what, Julia? I like you. And
thank you.
If you'll forgive me, you're new here, so I know I can trust you.
Right. Yeah.
You haven't been marred. You haven't been tainted by the sort of the pressures of the job and everything like that. I can see everyone's got their own things going on. Everyone's got their own things to do. But you, forgive me. I'm not being rude, but you looked a little confused in the entryway. So I figure that you're adjusting, you're acclimatizing. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and that's of course that's what you would be doing on your first day. No harm in that. I have a small problem.
All right.
And actually, when I was having this walk, I was just having a little think about how I might address this problem. But maybe you can help me.
I mean, sure. What's the problem?
Here's the thing. Baba Yaga is stirring once again. Now, I haven't spoken to Lord Santa about this yet because it's the most stressful time of the year, and I just feel like telling him that imminent war could be on the horizon. That would add somewhat to the stress. You agree, don't you?
Yeah, of course. That makes sense.
Yes. And no one else knows this but you. I hope that's not a lot of pressure. But I would very much prefer it if we keep it that way.
Sure. Now. Yeah, of course. No problem. I'll keep it the secret. It's fine.
Good. Well, on to how you can help me. Sorry, I have a thing about going off on tangents. Seeing as war might once again be upon us relatively soon, perhaps within the next couple of weeks, I have begun making preparations. And I have ordered in some basic supplies, rations, weapons and such.
Mhm.
I was trying to do it in a way that would not cause alarm, and this time of year we get a lot of presents coming in and out, so I had them wrapped in festive paper. I've accounted for most of it, except there is one box of dynamite that I fear may have become lost within the children's presents that are due to go out, you see. And as you can imagine, quite the problem, don't you agree, Julie?
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem.
Yes, made more so by the fact that the dynamite is it's very, very magical and could explode should it be prodded and poked a little bit too much,
Oh, okay.
or go near
Uh,
anything hot, or even really just
right.
be whacked on a desk a bit too hard. I mean, it's just the possibilities are endless, really, with this particular brand of dynamite. It's good, strong stuff, though. Excellent against Baba Yaga, but not so good in a child's living room. Yes.
Right.
What I'm asking of you, Julie, if you wouldn't mind, is could you discreetly, of course, no, we don't want any panic around Christmas, react to panic as well. Could you please see if you could find it and bring it back to me?
Yeah, I mean, do you have any idea which room it most likely might be in?
Well, I left it in the dining room. I was rather admiring the new table that had made its way in there, and I left it in there. And then when I remembered that I had done so, and I went back, it had gone. So I can tell you that
Right.
it's not in the dining room. And it's wrapped in festive wrapping paper, which should help to narrow it down. I think it had little reindeers and holly on it. Oh, it could have been robins and ivy.
Is it just
Something
like
along
a
those
square
lines.
box? Just like a square box, or is like oddly shaped in any way?
Oh, well, yeah, it would be useful if it was dynamite shaped, wouldn't it? But alas, no, it is
Yeah.
securely packaged in a box. But I mean, how many children's presents can be box shape? Not many, I'm sure.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do rounds around the entire manor anyway to clean, so I'll whenever I get into a room, I'll have a good look around.
Oh, great!
And yeah, I'll let you know if I find it.
I would be most appreciative. Green. The wrapping paper was green and red
Green.
and white.
Right. Okay.
Which
Got
is,
it.
I believe, a quite common combination over the time of year.
Yeah.
Now that I think on it.
I'll. You know what? If I find how many presents could be littered around the house, right? Like usually they're. I imagine they're usually kept in one place.
Yes. Possibly, probably. The elves do. I have great faith in you, Julie. I'm sure that you'll work it out.
Right. I'll do my best, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, so your task, relatively clear, I think.
Yeah.
And super easy. Think of a way of locating this particular box of dynamite. And it is within potentially the family's presence, or the children's presence. A box of presents somewhere is bound to hold it. Bring it back to the good general.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. I believe that you
No
don't
pressure
have
at all.
any tokens.
I don't have any ducks. No, I cannot.
No, you don't have
I have
any
to.
ducks. So this sounds like a job for Julie.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. Cool. Whereabouts are we? We are on the hour. How about we take a break now? And then when we come back, I will assign the other two tasks, and we will sort of keep going around and finding the conclusions, because we're about an hour in now. So thank you so much for joining us, those of you that have. I haven't been paying attention to chat at all, but I'm far too busy causing chaos for my poor players. Yes, we will see you, and we'll be running ads now because I'm an affiliate. That's apparently a thing that happens. And when we get back, we shall continue assigning tasks and then see how my lovely players cope with these wonderful jobs that they've been given. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again in about 15 minutes' time. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. We have just had a lovely break. We are currently playing, for those of you that might have joined us during said break, we're currently playing the Wassailing of Claus Manor. I never say that word right, but I believe it's Wassailing of Claus Manor, which was recently kickstarted. It's a game by Mike Martins and +1 Experience, and it is fantastic. And we're having a good time so far. We have sort of built up our manor a little bit and sort of inserted a few rumours here and there. All nonsense, I'm sure. And we have begun to meet some of the Claus Manor's inhabitants who have set our lovely players who are playing the staff members there on certain tasks that they will need to figure out how to complete. So far, Florian, our cook, needs to find a way of making an interesting lesson for young Yolnir. And I would say arguably Julie has the more stressful task of finding some festively wrapped up dynamite in amongst the children's presents somewhere in the house, and locating that and delivering it safely back to a very kind general. Just accidentally mixed up very dangerous weaponry within children's presents. So that's fine. I'm sure it's fine. So we'll kind of dive right back into it, and we will be moving on to the camera pans now after Julie's desperately terrified face to Candle, who is our chauffeur, if I'm remembering correctly, and tell me, Candle, where you think that you would most likely be found.
This early in the morning, probably in the shop with the cars just being grateful. I like to start my days that way. There's a little corkboard behind me with a Texas postcard, a Barcelona postcard, and a North Pole one. Those are the only ones I have, but I have a lot of cork space, so I'm hopeful. But just in there polishing the vehicle in case the Lord needs a drive today. I just want it to look good for him, just in case.
All right. Well, speaking of the Lord of the Manor, our jolly old Saint Nick, Santa Claus. Now, Candle, you've had a bit of an interesting week. I'm going to tell you that much. I'll tell you what you know about Lord Santa Claus, as he's well known, and sort of how your week has been, and then we'll get into it. So, Santa is, the world has sung songs of mystique and praise for this man. He is the harbinger of justice and generosity. And you worked there for about a year now, and you know that sometimes no coat can be dyed so deeply red without a little bit of sacrifice. He's a person that finds that the pressure of his titles can be a little bit daunting at points. He's quite a rotund fellow. He's got his classic bone white beard, big eyeballs, sagging brow, larger than life in every sense of the word, and smells of sugar cookies, damp moss, spiked eggnog, and crushed rosemary. When interacting with him, most of the time he is very jolly, very benevolent, and just ever so slightly intimidating because he is exceptionally famous. But he's, warm, amiable, has a very big, deep voice, classic Santa Claus imagery, basically. But has that kind of authoritative tone that it takes a lot to wear down his patience, and I mean a lot to wear down his patience. But if you do wear down his patience, you will know no fury like that of Santa Claus. But it takes heckin' lot to get there. So Christmas is coming, and as we've already established, it's a bit more of a stressful Christmas this year because it's sort of like the turn of the century, and then the population has boomed, and we're kind of in the thick of the Industrial Revolution, and so things are a little bit more stressful for the Lord of the Manor than usual as a result. And as Christmas was approaching, it started as a sort of like chats amongst the staff members about how, you know, Santa seems to be losing track a little bit of himself more and more recently. He doesn't really 100% know where he is or what he's saying some of the time. Sometimes he references deliveries from holidays past as if he's there right now. He just seems to be a little bit muddled. Then last week, Santa pulled you aside, and he asked you if you could help him with a minor indiscretion, and told you something very strange. He told you that he had been making duplicates of himself to kind of help aid in his being able to carry out Christmas, and he thought it would help him accomplish twice the task, but he had managed to lose sight of this duplicate that he had made of himself and needed you to find said duplicate. The problem that you had when he asked you that is that was the fourth time that a Santa Claus had come up to you and asked you to help find a duplicate. So, you know, as it turned out, more duplicates than you had thought there were, but you managed to resolve the task for Santa and kind of help him out. With the hope, I suppose, that he wouldn't dip into any more strange forms of magic that might go a little wrong. However, as you're sort of in the shop, and he sort of makes his way in, he Candle! How are you
Good
doing?
morning. Slightly sad in his eyes because now there's only one Santa Claus. In a world with a dozen, seemed like a beautiful place to be. But as I do every morning, I'll pull out the little tub of Turkish Delight I keep in the car for him. And every day I have him sign one Christmas card for me. Kind of like an autograph. So good morning, Santa. I have both the things. Again, I'm sorry.
Oh, no need to apologise. It's quite the highlight of my day. And
Mine
he
too, sir.
grabs
Mine
it.
too.
He does his usual and gives a little like, magic flick, and the pen sort of, it's not a magical pen in any way, but it sort of sparkles and shimmers as he sort of flicks off at the end of the autograph. Then he sort of turns it round, hands it back to you. There you are.
Thank you. Oh, to be a non-magic pen in your hand, sir. Just sparkles.
And he kind of yes, but he seems a little distracted. He goes, Candle,
Yes.
listen,
yes.
Candle. I wanted to say first of all how grateful I am to you for helping me with slight indiscretion. You know, the task that I set. You know the one I'm talking about.
Think nothing of it, sir. You helped me find myself as well.
Yes, you know, I didn't want to alarm the lady of the manor, and the duplicate thing, I have it quite under control now.
Last week's news, sir. I don't even remember.
Yeah, really? Do you need me to remind you?
No, it was just like a secret, sir. Like anything you need. Yes.
Oh, very good. Yes. Sorry, I'm under incredible amounts of stress. A little slow on the uptake. I have something to show you, though. If you wouldn't mind.
Of course. Yes.
As loath as I am to say it, I might have another job for you.
That's fine. Turkish Delight while we walk.
Of course.
Yes. Here's a
My
little
favourite.
napkin.
He absolutely says my favourite with any treat that is presented to him, and he sort of pops it in his mouth, and sort of makes his way down with you. He makes a very good show of like as other staff members are kind of walking past, hello, hi, kind of thing, and guides you into his study, with a great big smile on his face. The moment that you get in, he closes the doors and turns around. He suddenly looks very serious.
I will imitate him. What are we doing, sir?
I have to keep up so many appearances out there, Candle. I mean,
You're under such pressure, sir. I
golly
couldn't carry the
pressure.
hopes of children.
That's the ride. They weigh so heavily on my back and my conscience, and I need to make sure that everyone thinks I'm having a good time, even when my mind can't even cope and function correctly. You know.
My heart breaks.
I
for
imagine
you,
you
sir.
feel the same about the cars and the sleigh, and yes.
I feel that way more about you. I'm more concerned with your well-being, sir. How can I help bear this load for you today?
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you. And as you kind of look around the study, you will notice that it has become increasingly more cluttered than you last remember it. It is now filled with sort of strange-looking black candles, various curved daggers, books in unfamiliar languages, and as you sort of like walk further into the study, you walk past one and it's got like some illustrations, and then you assume they're related either sort of to surgery or the butcher's art. You're not quite sure, but very strange illustrations inside.
Well, it's great that you found a new hobby, sir. I mean, that's a great way to distract your brain from all these pressures.
Yes. I'm in need of something from you.
Yes.
And I need you to do it because I cannot do it if it were to get out, or if someone were to discover me doing anything like this, then my reputation would be ruined. And Christmas
you had me
at
I need you to do it, sir.
Candle, always so eager to please. I like that in a servant. I need half a pound of elf fat.
Do you need it cured or in its raw form? Are we talking tallow?
Raw form. I wouldn't expect you to do any of the cooking or any of the, that's much more Florian's purview. Raw is absolutely fine.
All right.
But it must be, I look me in the eye now. It must be elf fat.
Any year preference? Better year for elves than others?
I no idea. Just half a pound of it.
Maybe something from the summer, something warm. All right.
Oh, sure. Yes. You seem quite the expert, Florian. I'm impressed.
I just try to be here for whatever you need, sir.
It has to be, it does have to be warm. Yes. It must, in fact, be warm. And it must arrive soon. Very soon. Can I can trust you.
What list do we want them to be off of, sir?
So leans in. Best be the naughty one.
I agree.
And he kind of straightens up. He goes, well, Candle, I must say, I perhaps I've underestimated you in many ways. I genuinely really thought that you would take a little more convincing than that, given the nature of elf fat,
That's true, but sir, as a true servant, I'm here to serve. With those songs, I know everyone thinks you check a list twice to be, sure. I believe you check it twice because we have the potential every day to change who we are. So if you need me to be someone that finds you elf fat, whether it's clergy or chauffeur, I like to get people where they need to go.
Well, that's... Oh, Candle. Oh, maybe quite emotional.
Turkish delight, sir.
Yes, thank you.
I've heard it's your
my
favorite. Yes.
And then he kind of like picks it up and sit and eat. And as the camera sort of pans away from you, you watch, or sort of the audience would watch, as another Santa Claus just sort of walks past outside. Yes, the task then, obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. You are to find some warm elf fat. Warm, of course, implying fresh as you can find such things. And you have to get this to jolly old Saint Nick with as much haste as possible. He seemed quite set on it needing to be very, very soon.
I did hear we have a new housekeeper today. This could be the perfect task for
yes.
them to, get their feet wet. I haven't met them yet.
Hey up.
But
Oh, this is wonderful.
Are you going to implement one of your?
I believe I will, but also like helping them with the task. It's more like these are the things they'll require of you. So let me show you some of the weird stuff we have to do.
So you absolutely can like provide your aid, as it were, in terms of like when it comes to Anna doing the role, but it is you want Anna to come up with the solution of how to do this.
Yes, I heard her name was Miss Jangle, something of that sort, but I don't think we've had eyes yet.
I'm sorry, I feel like this is about to become like the most stressful day for Julie. Just like there is dynamite in one of the many presents.
Hey, two
In
birds.
this manner. And also I now have to maybe kill an elf. Like in cold blood on my first day.
You're welcome.
Well, the two of you can absolutely, if you wouldn't mind, RPing that little moment of you handing over this task to our beloved Julie.
I'll ask not Santa, but someone with less pressures if they know where the new housekeeper is. But when we lock eyes, my feet step and my hands go still. Like, Julie, is that you, Julie?
I feel like she's like in the like process of both cleaning and looking for this bloody box, and just like hears a voice like looks around. Candle?
From Barcelona to here, it is a Christmas miracle. And run up
You
and
worked here.
like almost too excited to see someone where you almost give them a too familiar greeting, and then you stop yourself like right before and
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That's a weird coincidence.
You're the new housekeeper.
Yeah.
Jingle. I should have put it together. What's it been, months?
I guess something like that. How you been?
Jolly. As it's hard not to be here. I was actually just coming to find you. I had a message from you straight from the big guy.
Oh, okay.
He heard.
I'm kind of busy, but go ahead.
He wanted you to find him half a pound of elf meat.
I'm sorry, what?
Elf meat.
Just walks past with
Like that, but not walking.
I mean, like, Julie just looks at you for a second, like, wait, come again?
You look lovely when you're afraid you're gonna have to murder an elf, Julie. It's so good to see you again.
Hang on. Did you say murder?
Oh no, hopefully you can already find some.
Where would I find?
You should check in the kitchen.
They keep elf fat there.
Yeah, you want to talk to Miss Honeycup, I believe. Yes, Miss Honeycup. She should have a line on some elf meat. I'm fairly sure.
Okay. But wait, why are you? This task was specifically assigned to me.
The task of finding you was assigned to me, and then I found you, so, good day for me. But I'm also here to aid you in this process, kind of like a mentor type moment.
Right.
To the kitchen.
I actually I have a task of my own given by one of the
Oh,
people.
congratulations.
Thanks. If right. Right. Not too keen on murder.
Turkish delight,
How
Julie?
you always keep those with you, sure.
They're my favorite.
Yeah. I need to be looking out for a box, like a wrap present that's kind
Shouldn't
of
be too
rogue.
hard to find.
Yeah, except it's a little bit of a. There's dangerous contents
I
inside.
pick up one and shake it.
No.
No. Oh,
Don't. I already. Well, actually, I already checked that one. It's fine. That one is not the one. I think. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. I just need to find. I don't know how big it would be. Like I guessing like it is. Um, whatever box we're gonna find, if we're gonna stick together, do not shake it. I need to unwrap it first.
before Christmas?
It's a task from one of the higher ups. I cannot disclose the
Alright,
details. I was asked to be discreet. But I am on the lookout for a box that has dangerous contents.
Well, why don't
If
I
you
help you with
me.
both of your chores today?
Sure, because I don't have a house to clean or anything. Okay.
That's well out the window. Priority number 3 is being the housekeeper right now.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Okay. So I guess I haven't looked in the kitchen yet, so I can look there.
Let's go look for some elf meat.
Sure. I don't remember you being this chill with murder.
Changes a lot being up here. You can just really see things clearly when there's two lists. Like there's no gray area. If you're on one list, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah. How long have you been working here?
A little over a year, actually. I was taking some time in Barcelona when we had our little Christmas in the middle of the summer.
Right. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Show the way, I guess.
All right. We will we will cut away from this romantic reunion. And Julie, it's so good to see you again. I need you to murder an elf. And I guess we will move on to our final staff member, the lovely Violetta. It's Violetta, who is our maid. And then, Violetta, let's draw for you and see who you get. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, you have, General Moroze's granddaughter, Snegurochka, Snegu for short, and what you know about Snegurochka is she is something of a very regal beauty. Just sort of looking at her would take one's breath away, and fill it with short-lived rime of frost. During that very bewitching moment, one might sense that Snegu can see clearly all of your faults and shatter them with a single breath. And you wouldn't be wrong, but like all members of the family, she has a generous, if slightly frigid heart. She and her grandfather have only taken up residence at Claus Manor recently. with the general believing that the change of scenery from the barren tundras of the north will help Snegu better socialize and take her place in the hierarchy of the Claus family tree. And many of the staff believe that this task is far from complete. She's known for being a little bit awkward, ill-mannered, very unaccustomed to formal society, a little on the wild side. And she has very strong opinions about what convention should be. So while you might be tempted to gently correct missteps, lapses in veneration are often met with a frosty sting. Now, this isn't your first time seeing Snegu within the last couple of weeks. What people are talking about when it comes to Snegu is that she has become more and more displeased with the sort of surroundings of the manor. She's not particularly fond of the hearth or sort of flame. She gets very anxious, in fact, when the temperature begins to rise within the manor. She likes the fires to be doused, and she likes to leave the windows open. So quite often you'll be doing your duties and you'll notice that another window has opened, and no matter how many times you close it, it will end up open again. Just last week, however, things took a slight turn when suddenly all the windows in the manor were open, and a sort of brief conversation with Snegu revealed that was not the only problem. Snegu had invited in a couple of new friends from the wilds, the canine predator variety, and there were some wolves briefly roaming the manor. You, of course, realized that, it's complaining about the house being too hot is one thing, but balance does need to be struck between comfort and roaming predatory canines. So the wolves were driven out. Now, tell me, where do you think that we would find Violetta?
Let's see. I think currently she would be going kind of through the bedrooms, straightening up, closing windows that have been opened, making sure everything's kind of straightened and in order.
All right. So you're kind of like working your way around each of the various bedrooms. And you do end up sort of like making your way up towards where Snegorochka's sort of quarters are. It is now part of the attic that has been given over to Snegorochka, so that she may kind of allow the outside air in without sort of disturbing too much of the rest of the house. As you get up there, though, she's sort of sitting in a chair, and the room has somewhat taken on a sort of very icy look. There was quite a bad storm last night, and so a lot of snow has made its way into the room, and she seems quite at ease. She's just sort of sitting there. She's got like a sort of a small fur around her, but to be honest, she's in like a sort of like a very thin strapped dress, and she's not even got like boots on. She's very comfortable in this temperature, whereas as you're kind of making your way up, it is freezing cold up here. Like, it is icy cold in this room. And she kind of looks at you and she goes, "Oh, good morning."
Good morning, Lady Morose. Would you like me to help clean this area up?
Oh, yes, I suppose it has become a little. And she kind of looks around and she goes, "Yeah, here we are. been eating some breakfast up here. If you wouldn't mind taking the plates and such, I mean, everything else is fine, right?
Well, I mean, the floors seem a little bit cluttered with snow.
Yes. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It is. I don't believe
Sort
it's
of
very
like
good for the
playfully,
floors, though.
Flick some at you.
It's very beautiful, but it really is much more beautiful when it is outside and not damaging the floors, don't you think?
Oh, you know, you and the rest of the staff are such spoil sports. Honestly, it's just a bit of snow. I mean, okay, one of your fellow workers did mention that it might be getting into the dining room, dripping somewhat, I think they said. But I just want to have a little bit of fun.
Can't we have the fun outside where the snow won't be melting?
Well, yes, but I prefer it up here. This is my space. This is supposed to be my space.
Well, yes, but if it's leaking through the floorboards, miss, then it's not in your space anymore, is it?
Fine. Yes. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. How about I will wave my magic hands and freeze it all and fix it all up and, you know, clear up the dining room and all of that and save you a job, because otherwise it would all be all of you clearing up after me, right? But indulge in some fun with me, Violet, please. Will you organize a snowball fight up here?
I suppose I can gather a few people.
Yes, I want it to be like 8 on 8, roughly, approximately.
16 people.
16 people. I mean, you and me, so 14 people. That's fine.
Well, I did hear we just got a new housekeeper, so...
Oh, no! Oh, yes! Look, all I want to do is show you all that, you know, snow is not all scary and bad. It's actually quite fun.
It is, but, you know, everything in moderation, miss.
Well, you sound like Gertie.
I will go, find some others, and,
14.
14 others.
Precisely.
Precisely 14.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a few more to deal with the dining room.
Oh, no, I'll deal with the dining room as soon as we've had the snowball fight.
Right.
I'm doing you a
I
favor.
will...
Oh my goodness. Don't look so glum.
Many-
It's Christmas.
Many thanks, Lady Morose. I'll go gather people.
All right. So therein lies your task. You have to persuade 16 people to 14 if it's you and the good lady, and 14 others. No, maybe some elves if there's any left after the murder spree. And you are to have an 8 on 8 snowball fight in the attic. Would you round up enough hearty souls who wouldn't mind getting splattered with snowballs for a while? Now, you do have duck tokens. Would you like to use the duck token and delegate this task elsewhere?
You know, I think Candle would be much more suited to rounding up people than me.
Amazing.
I think his charismatic energy.
That's a certain way of sort of inspiring, you know, that sort of humble, light-hearted Christmas spirit. All right, so you're going to use your duck token on Candle. So what that means is, I would like you to role play this interaction. But what that means is, Candle, that you will also have to, you no longer have to think of something for your own task, but you will have to think of a plan, I suppose, for Violetta's task instead.
Happy to do it.
So I'm guessing that I would end up finding really everyone in or near the kitchen,
Oh my
wouldn't
goodness,
I?
yes, because you're going to be in the kitchen with Florian. Yeah, so you make your way down. One of the staff members just like, oh yes, I think they just all Candle and Julie heading over to the kitchen. They better not be shirking their duties. Having a party in the kitchen today, and then just sort of, then someone else kind of goes, better than a party in the library, right? And everyone, oh. So off you go, and yes, Candle is there, ready and waiting, and I assume that probably Julie and Florian are sort of distracted, talking about certain ingredients and things.
No, Florian, he needed half a pound.
Kind of poke my head in. Just, it is packed in here. Candle, moment.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Lady Morose has a request of you.
Oh, bless her heart.
I'm not sure if you've noticed the dining room is a little bit flooded.
Yeah, it seems wet.
She has decided that the attic looks a lot better with a fresh layer of snow.
Is she right?
And has I don't think that the water damage is quite worth the aesthetics.
That's fair. Yeah.
She's promised that she is absolutely going to clean all of it up in whatever means that she means clean. She says something about freezing it, and that's as long as it's not soaking through the floorboards. But she would like, including herself, a 16-person snowball fight.
Oh,
and
all right. We going back into the octagon, are we?
So
I think from across the way, Florian hears the word snowball fight. He's like, oi, oi, snowball
Right
fight.
when I'm writing down Florian's name on the list.
Well, that's one volunteer.
And then you, so that's 2. Miss
suppose.
Jingle, there's 3. Me, there's 4. I mean, all right.
I guess.
It's not like you got enough to do, eh?
Yeah. Wait, when exactly is the snowball fight happening?
I mean, ideally as soon as we can get the people, because like I said, the dining room's a little bit flooded, and I don't want to know just how much water damage the attic floors can handle.
Right, I'm a little busy.
Miss Jingle could actually probably use your hand finding some things for the claws. I'm going to go get on this. I'll leave them with the elf meat.
Just absolutely a bad. All right, and you hear as well as you're kind of like doing this, you hear like this like shriek that does sound a little bit like Lady Gertrude, and you just hear my table because of course the table is starting to feel the effects of the Snegu's particular.
Do the doll legs float or are they attached?
Yeah, I feel like I like to imagine that this table is like it's got like a border, and it's kind of created like this really weird, like almost like swimming pool in the middle of the table, and the doll legs that were kind of like piled up on top of each other in almost ornamental piece have a couple of them have like fallen off, and so there's just like severed doll legs just kind of like floating around in this table because the structural integrity is starting to go ever so slightly.
Tag yourself, I'm that one.
All right, and I guess then we will move back to the start, and we will start to work out how we're going to tackle these tasks. Now, my dear Florian, you By the way, you came into the kitchen. Yolnir was also there, just looking like waiting to be taught something. So the first thing that's going to happen is you are going to explain to me your general idea for the plan for this lesson that you're going to teach.
So, Florian has been using. I'm pretty sure there's a long established cookbook of recipes that the Clauses have liked. Through the multiple chefs that have attended this job. So they've been using that. And in the desserts section of that cookbook is a recipe that is called the croquembouche monstrosity. And, and in Florian's mind, they're like, oh, that's a funny name for a recipe. And there's a lot of like sidebar, but it's written in French, and Florian doesn't understand French, but it seems like very urgent sidebar. So what Florian doesn't know is that the way that this recipe is and the size that it is, and with the magic that's ambient in this house, the croquembouche monstrosity is literal, and it will potentially come to life at the end.
It's a spell. It's a spell
it's-
rather than a.
Yes, essentially.
All right, so that's definitely something that could go wrong should this fail. And we will kind of open it up to the way that this game is kind of run, and the way that trophy kind of works as a system is that sort of everyone pitches in ideas for potential things that could go wrong, but it is the person that it goes wrong for that kind of gets to choose what the thing is that actually happens, be it success or failure. I mean, you're using your cookbook. I feel like that comes under you using a skill from your role as a cook. I do feel like that sounds like that counts. Your skills are food, drink, and flame, and I think that food kind of covers that. So you do earn a light die.
Okay.
From that. The next thing I am to ask you is, will you accept either a twist, which I'll go through in a minute, or a some level of assistance from a fellow staff member? I.e., are you asking anyone to help you in this teaching of? I guess you're teaching young Yolnir how to make a croquembouche monster, whatever that entails.
Yes. He wanted something interesting, and it's a very detailed process.
That sounds interesting.
So, I think a twist sounds fun, whatever that might be. I'm not sure Florian would think that they need help.
Yeah, no worries. In which case, you're accepting a twist. So just to let you know, twists are sort of like, they're devilish bargains, may be accepted to advance one's aims within the manor. So it gives you an extra light die to roll.
Okay.
But there is a touch of what it calls a touch of naughty to achieve the nice. So players and the keeper will offer a bonus light die for a trouble roll by offering up a twist to your plan that will invariably prove true. So what that means is, even if you get full success, this happens. It's like something that you can't. It's a consequence that you cannot avoid. But in doing so, you're more likely to achieve success because you've got an extra die to roll. Twists might include causing collateral damage. I wonder how a croquembouche monster could cause collateral damage. Or unintended harm, getting lost or separated from companions, sacrificing an important item, attracting unwanted attention, or revealing secret information. So if you are going to accept said twist, then I would love for the players at the table to maybe have a little think and suggest some ideas as to what kind of twist they could foresee and they want to be, this will happen even if you're fully successful with this role. Does anyone have any suggestions?
How
I might have
dramatic of a
one.
twist would you recommend?
Yeah.
I would recommend it to be something small that would cause complications later down the line. Normally, because obviously if you have like a failure, that tends to be like a pretty big scale in the moment thing. So a twist would normally be something that might cause some tension or might cause an issue later down the line. It could be related to your holiday spirit as well. Things.
I'm thinking like if this
Maybe-
thing comes to life, it just escapes their view for a second, and it just escapes the kitchen, and they don't know where it went.
Could be, yeah.
Could potentially discover a new allergy of Yulnir's.
I was thinking that
Ooh,
too.
that could be good.
That'd be good.
That's great. I was thinking allergies too.
So
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, I mean, he wanted to be taught something. He will.
It's about self-discovery.
A bit of self-discovery might do Yolnir some good. So we could. So it's absolutely up to you, Ren, what you choose. Like the idea is people put things forward, and then you say, "Well, I'm going to choose that one as my my twist that will happen no matter what, even if I get a success." Yolnir's still allergic.
Okay. Yeah, we can do an allergy.
Yeah. Okay. So a new allergy of Yolnir's. I wonder. So I'm trying to think of exactly what it is that Yolnir would be allergic to within the Croquembouche that he might not have encountered before living in the House of Christmas. But I feel like maybe like specifically like choux pastry or something. Just something about it is just brings him out in hives. All right, so you have 2 light die at the moment because you've used your skills and you have accepted a twist. So in terms of getting the success for a trouble roll, this is what we'll be rolling. A full success is you have to roll a 6. A mixed success if you roll a 4 or a 5. And a 1 to 3 is a failure. So you'll be rolling 2d6 at the moment. You can add to that and make it 3d6. And I will word it how it says it here. Are you willing to risk a bit of your soul?
This is sure, why not?
I love it. Yes. Okay. So what that means is you will roll 3d6, but one of them will be a dark die. You are more likely in that instance to get a success because you are more likely to roll a higher number. However, if the highest number is on the dark die, and it is higher than your current holiday spirit value, your holiday spirit increases by 1. Okay, does that sound like you understand?
Sounds great.
All right, so I would like you then, Florian, to please roll 3d6, but one of them is a dark die, 2 of them are the light die. You may use the roller that I have sent, or you can roll yourself. It's absolutely up to you.
I think I'll roll myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So. Amazing. Great. Sorry, that was excessive. I got really excited.
No, that's great. I love reactions like that.
Because I rolled a light die and it was a 6. And then this is a 5. And then the dark die is a 2. So.
Okay. So it sounds like that you got a success and you have not sacrificed a piece of your soul. Well done. Just so you know, by the way, because I know that some of you have offered aid and are accepting aid in some of your future endeavors. If, let's say, Julie, for example, seeing as Julie has the most tasks to complete, ends up rolling and is willing to risk some soul and rolls high on said dark die, all staff members that are involved in Julie's particular problem are at risk, shall we say, of having their holiday spirit. That is the nature of what happens if you offer your aid. All right, well then it is you rolled a 6, so that is a full success, apart from the fact that there will be this twist. So you sort of you see this sort of very bored looking teenager, and you realize that obviously he was in an art class. There were some artistic differences. Probably he was being told exactly what it was that he is supposed to draw. Yolnir is a young man who he's very excited, clearly, about the idea that he is going to one day be the ruler of Christmas. And he has some big ideas about things that he might change from what his father and his mother consider to be Christmas. So his tutor was probably teaching him how Christmas should be and how Christmas cards should be. And he had his own ideas, and that is where artistic differences arise. So you do a really good job when you start to kind of like do this baking and show him kind of how it is, of actually teaching him a lot about how sort of the role that his father and his mother take within Christmas and the reason why they do things a certain way, and also allowing him to express his artistic freedom, I guess, into creating how this monster looks. Perhaps in the book it is sort of assembled as if it's like a snowman, and it has a very particular structure, but you sort of kind of turn and say, have at it. It doesn't have to look like a snowman. Make it look how you want it to look. And he really appreciates that. Like, you can see it kind of, and what actually ends up happening is he's asking you lots of questions up until that point, and then he does make a very a real effort to not be too heavy on the questions and to just kind of appreciate and take in the moment and let you explain and teach him. He creates this unusual looking crocodile monster. It is quite the spectacle, not quite as hideous as the dining room table, but getting there. And afterwards he's very, very proud. You kind of do the cooking and it all turns out really, really great and it looks good and he's very happy. And the lady of the manor kind of comes along. She comes in and she's, where have you been? What happened to Frederick? You're supposed to be in class. And looks to you for an answer, Florian.
Miss Lady Claus, young Master Claus here, just found himself a bit interested in learning how things in the kitchen worked, and I thought I'll take it upon myself to, show him a few things, always learning, always active, always got his head on.
And like Jonas smiles at you and just gets back into being engrossed in the pastry, and sort of like molding it and everything. And she goes to like chastise. You can see that she's ready to she's got all the questions. Oh, what do you mean that he's cooking when? And then she takes a moment and she takes a pause and she breathes in the moment and she realizes it's quiet. He's being quiet. And it just, you see the way her eyes just like, are you enjoying yourself, Yolnir? And he's like, and just continues. And she goes, all right, I'll leave you to it. And out she walks.
You have a good afternoon.
The moment she's gone, he kind of grins And he goes, looks great, doesn't it? I bet it tastes good too. And he takes one off and he pops it in his mouth. And as he's talking excitedly, you watch as his nose begins to swell and swell.
Oh,
And
that's not
and
right.
it sort of turns this sort of slight pink color and begins to sparkle. What is it?
A young Master Claus.
I think we'll leave you stuttering. And he just kind of like slowly brings like, and then it kind of like the pink goes to like an orange and it sort of twists into this carrot shape.
Oh no, it's really not right.
Yeah. All right. And we will move along then to Julie. Now, Julie, you first of all, before you start getting bogged down in Elfat, you have a problem with some presents. You need to find a present that might or might not have probably does have some dynamite in it and very highly explosive stuff. So go for it. Tell me your plan with this.
Right. So Julie's plan to work here was not really because she's so passionate about this. She's not even that passionate about Christmas. They are a bit of a thief, and they were like, "Oh, I bet there will be valuables at Claus Manor that maybe she could squirrel away while doing her job." But what her past with like a lot of like thievery and like she's done a lot of odd jobs, not just like stealing things, but just in general, like she's done some heists, but also just done a bunch of random things. And she's very good at overseeing plays. She's very good at like when she gets into a room, she can quickly like take in a room and take in the details. So when they got here and got a tour, obviously looking for valuables, they were looking around and scanning the room and taking in the room. And they're trying to sort of remember if they saw a box anywhere. But to kill two birds with one stone, they are going to try and grab an elf to try and help them. And they also have cleaning supplies on them. And you know, with cleaning supplies, you can easily like put a little bit on a cloth and make someone pass out. So their plan is to take an elf to help them find this box using like their memory, but also using the elf's knowledge of where presents go in the house. And then once they're hopefully found the box, and even if they don't find the box and they're a little bit alone, Julie might try and make the elf fall unconscious and I guess drag it back to the kitchen.
I guess that the kitchen didn't fall through. I just picturing like Florian just being like, no, we don't keep
I feel like
I feel staff members and just oh, it was just a surprise of Candle, just like, oh, what a shock. I just assumed we had some of that. Well, all right. So you're going to use your sort of like overseeing skills, your ability to kind of like your cleaning supplies.
Yeah.
I feel like the cleaning supplies will very much come into like the role with the elf stuff.
Yeah. So the overseeing. Yeah, the overseeing one is for the box, and the cleaning skill is for the elfet, I guess.
All right. Now comes the second question. So we'll do each role like as an individual thing, as it were.
Yeah.
Twist wise, so I believe that our good friend Candle did say that they were very happy to give a hand in both tasks, I think. Candle, or Julie, I suppose, how would you implement Candle in helping you specifically with the box? Or Candle, you might have some suggestions as well as to how you might be able to help in this matter.
I mean, I guess he's been here longer and might have seen the box around before, and might also know if there is like a habit of moving presents, or if someone's more inclined to like if they find a random present in the manner to put it back with the rest or stuff like that. I guess like calling on Candle's knowledge of, how things work around the manor.
Mm-hmm.
I had a pretty good plan to help, but it was going to be on my turn, so I'm not sure if you'd rather.
So
me
it wouldn't.
just-
Yeah, so it wouldn't come under your turn, because it would be everything is resolved. So basically, Julie essentially takes your turn, and I'm very aware of the time, so I'm not sure that we're going to have time to do this. But if we were playing a fuller game with a longer time, when it came to your turn, I would be assigning you a new task, as it were. So essentially, you get to kind of skip your go, and someone else has to do it for you, and then you would get your new task. Is how the game would normally run, and you would continue to kind of move it around like that.
Well, the way I was planning on helping Julie was to drive her out of my car and gather up about 12 elves and the ferals of the property, tell them about the snowball fight also, but then also say that they needed to go in there and shake every present they found, because that's how they get their invitation to the snowball fight. So 3 birds, if possible.
So what I'm hearing is that you're planning to potentially try to explode an elf.
Well,
and
the
in
elves
doing
would do
so,
it.
some fat might end up being usable. This is...
Well, I also had the question, is Santa an elf, and would any of his clones count as elves? That was my other side.
No, Santa is not an elf. Santa is not an elf.
Well, his lucky day.
Wait,
was the box supposed to get back to the general, like, as a whole?
It is. You are supposed to deliver the box to the general, like, unexploded, preferably. I will just put that out there.
She told me they were sensitive. I'm not sure if I know they'll explode.
So okay, but I will concede that you are getting assistance from Candle.
Julie, I brought you a bouquet of elves.
Another oh my god. You may add another light die. So you are now rolling 2 light die. Now, Julie, you're in a little bit of a pinch. Are you willing to risk a little bit of your soul?
This is for the finding the package first, right?
This is for finding the package first. So you can choose yes for one and no the other, or you can choose both.
Yeah,
no, yeah.
I think for the package, no. But I guess if you're going to murder someone, you're gonna lose a bit of your soul potentially. So
we're hoping to not lose our soul. So you'll be rolling 2 light die for the package.
Yeah.
And whatever. And if you're unhappy with your roll, that's when we start to maybe pile on dark die, but it becomes potentially problematic for you. But for now, we're not willing to risk a bit of our soul. Okay, so you'll be rolling 2d6 essentially, and we will find out how successful you are.
Let me see. Oh, that's a 6 and a 3.
Oh my goodness, you actually do manage to find this package, and you have absolutely like no consequences to it whatsoever.
I feel like they would like find this box and like it's like has the right weight, and then like they sort of untake the wrapping off and it just says dynamite on top of like
yeah.
Just very carefully like putting it aside.
I really enjoy the idea of just all this chaos going down. At this point, like Candle is just going around going, we could blow up the L, and you're just like, what's happening? And as you're doing it, you're listening to Candle's ideas. You pick up this one box, and you sort of like glance at it, and it has red, white, and green paper. It is about sort of like box of dynamite size, roughly, and it appears to have reindeer, robins, holly, and ivy wrapping paper. And you're just like, could it be? You kind of start to open it as you're still listening to Candle. And as you do open it, and inside, you do have to probably quickly cover it up again. It is literally just a sort of a wooden box, but with a glass casing, so you can see inside. And on it is written, "Dynamite, caution, highly explosive, do not expose to, and there is like a list of about 50 to 60 things, like instructions of not to do, which, you know, being very observant, I'm sure that you take on immediately, and you're just like, right, well, got to get it out of this room as quick as possible. So you've managed to find that very, very easily and very, very well. Now we come to elf fat, and obviously this would be Rara's go. So now let's hear your plan. So obviously you were getting the elves to help you a little bit, and you were hoping to get one alone. You found this dynamite quite easily, but that doesn't mean that the elf has to know that you've found this dynamite. You could still continue to take them around and ask them to help you by finding a present with a very specific specification that you know doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think once having, because there's multiple elves around, I guess once having found the box, I don't know where the general is, but we'll give it to one of the elves. We'll say, like, specifically, like, list what not to expose it to. That is very special delivery for the general, and that he's given that these instructions come from him. And just hand the box off to the elf for the elf to bring it to the general, because I don't think she's going to be want to be wandering around. Also, she needs her hands if she wants to kill an elf. So like, she's just gonna give that box to one of the elves, and then has, but like out of the sight of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just gonna give like you said, like very specific instructions for like what to look for. And then just sort of looks at like which one of the elves is like wandering off alone.
All of the elves seem very friendly as you're kind of eyeing them. Every single one gives you this beaming, rosy-cheeked little smile. Hi! As you kind of walk past, they're very fully in the Christmas spirit. They seem very happy to be here, and you know it's just another jolly day here at Claus Manor, and they're excited.
Yeah, I guess Julie would like have like a cloth like ready with like some cleaning supply that absolutely will make you pass out if you sniff it. And just like, well, like if one of the elves like goes off alone, it'll just be like, so Santa has this new perfume or something that he wanted to gift the people. I had a sample. Do you want to smell it and like give your opinion? Like really smell it well.
All right. What we'll do is we'll do the roll, and then we'll see how well this goes. So your skills. So that was the sort of the cleaning supplies and things. I feel like you could also use cleaning supplies to concoct a pretty toxic mixture that might one sniff would send someone,
maybe
knock someone out. So you're going to use a light die for that. Is Candle assisting you in any way with this particular part of the task, or are you accepting Candle's help for
maybe
any part of elf? Has Candle offered expertise at all on how to successfully kill an elf and deal with the level of guilt that might come with that? I don't.
Oh no, not at all.
I feel like maybe Julie's like wants them there for like moral support. It's just like trying to like, I guess like we constantly like look at him and be like now.
So did you figure out where we could get some elf fat?
We'll just like gently like when the elves turn around like point to the elf.
He's got it. Crispin, you have elf fat on you? Oh no, sorry, Crispin. Never mind.
Okay.
Crispin's like, have I got what? I mean, I know I put on a few pounds, but...
Oh no, like a jar, like butter or something like that. Don't worry about it.
I can't say that I do. Candle, no. It's got an unusual sense of humor today.
I do. Here's a candy cane. Run off. Have fun.
Oh, candy cane! He just runs off.
Do I know they have the dynamite?
That's not the one with the dynamite.
The dynamite. I hope that one of the dynamite has already left and bring the package to the general. But yeah, I guess like if Candles will help, like I can't. get one of the elves to do it.
Did they have any in the kitchen? Did you ask?
No.
Not in the pantry?
No, I don't think it's an ingredient most people keep. I think. Did you say would it need to be fresh?
Fresh, probably warm was the illusion, so I would assume that was more of a freshness. Yes.
Very fresh.
Also, do I know like what the general things of the elves? Could I call in like a favor, like, hey, I found you this box?
No, unfortunately, I don't think you've built up quite enough rapport with the general.
No, exactly. I guess then I will just be. If I don't have assistance.
Well, it would depend, I suppose. It depends, I suppose, on how well you roll as well. If you roll a 6, then I might just say that the general might hop in at the right time.
I'll just roll the light die for the skill, and I guess a dark die because I'm murdering something. So.
All right. So
We could
Candle
make
you're not accepting any kind of aid from Candle. You've noticed that Candle seems to not
yeah.
really fully understand the assignment quite in the way that you do. So perhaps it's best that Candle didn't do this.
We could make them a little tub of butter, and they could sit in it for a while, and that's basically elf fat, right?
If you wanted to use any of Violetta's skills, Candle did technically volunteer her to help you.
That's true. Oh, wait,
So
what are your
Violetta
skills?
is also willing to offer you aid if you want to.
Okay.
I've got
And I think that
secrecy,
Violetta
service,
seems a little
captivity.
bit more on the page of understanding
You have
exactly what might need to go
Captivity.
down.
Captivity could be great. Okay, I will like if Violetta is
Use their
near,
help.
yeah, is near somewhere. It would I don't know if they would understand the assignment more than Candle does.
I think so.
I feel like Violetta's got a pretty good set of like a good head on her shoulders, enough to be like, look, I know what needs to happen here. Seems you've
Oh, so you need a okay.
I
Just
think
one?
Julie would turn to Candle as like, okay, I really appreciate your help, and it's great that we're colleagues now. But you've got a snowball fight to organize, right? I got this. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, I'm on it. I think in Candle's head, Santa would never ask him to do anything that would get him on the naughty list. So he
Yes,
couldn't have
100%.
meant murder. That must have been a weird slip of the tongue. Like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
and then like turn to Violetta as like, I need your help.
It's just a knowing look, just like, I got you.
Okay.
Have fun making butter.
Thanks. And just like has like the cloth and is like, that might, and then.
All right, so you're getting
No.
assistance from Violetta. And are you still willing to risk a bit of your soul? Just note that you are also risking Violetta's soul in the process of this.
Yeah, I'll give it a go if that's all right. If I let
You get to choose.
Oh, yeah.
You get to choose.
Okay,
Violetta doesn't have a choice.
I'll roll.
She has
Like
offered
you said, I'm
to
helping you commit a murder.
You're helping you commit a murder, exactly.
Oh no. Okay, so
So you roll 3 dice. One of them is
yeah,
your
the
dark
highest
die.
number. The highest number is a 3, but it is on the dark die.
Okay, right. Hold on. Okay, so the highest
right,
number
yeah.
is a 3.
Yeah, but it is on the dark
So
die.
you failed.
Yeah.
What else did you roll?
Two
you have
twos.
also managed to roll the highest number on the dark die. All right. Okay. Well, so let me tell you what that means. First of all, the highest value being on the dark die. Is 3 higher than either of your holiday spirits?
It's equal to my holiday spirit.
Okay, so it's not higher, so you're fine. You've already seen some shit, okay? Like, you're okay. However, this is pretty horrifying for your first day.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, you would go up 1 in your holiday spirit. It would affect you quite horrifically. And I will also say, actually, just to add a little bit of interest, I am going to get you to. There is something called let me find it. A spirit roll, which is whenever a servant character witnesses or undergoes something that's particularly troubling, you determine how deeply it chills them by rolling a dark die. So if the roll is higher than the character's current holiday spirit, so it's basically the same thing, but it's if you see something exceptionally disturbing.
Mhm.
So what I would like is for you and Violetta to come up with what your failure looks like. And if it involves something particularly awful, then I will say that Violetta is saved, but you will have to roll another dark die for me.
And failure just means that we failed to kill the elf.
You failed to acquire the elf.
The elf.
But what
Right.
I would also point out that this is actually technically a failure on Candle's part, because it was Candle that was entrusted with this. So even though you're doing it, this is going to would have negative consequences for Candle.
Right. I don't know. I feel like somehow she does, like, the elf does pass out when the stuff, and they try and murder it, but then when it dies, it turns into a pile of glitter.
Yes!
So there's no fat to be gained. It's literally just a pile of glitter.
There's a specific way that you have to get elf.
Yeah, exactly. And Julie does not know that, and sees that, like, realizes that they just killed an elf for nothing because there's nothing to gain.
It just returns to the fairy world.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't think that that's particularly horrifying either. I think that that's actually quite
I
fun.
mean, for your first day to murder something and then also not to obtain the goal that you were supposed to get.
It's now a senseless murder. You gained nothing from it.
I
Yeah,
really
exactly.
enjoy the idea of you scooping up this pile of glitter and presenting it to Candle and being like, elf fat that you require.
What did all you have to do is twist their ears and they give you elf fat. What did you do? You just twist their little ears and a little bit of elf fat just comes out. What did you not milk them? Who doesn't know how to milk an elf?
Oh my God.
Finest fat in the North Pole.
And just at this point, an elf walks past and goes, "Someone say elf fat? You want me to twist my ears for you?"
Oh, I'll twist your ears. I'll twist your ears all day.
Why did you do that?
Oh yeah, look, about half a pound.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm all out.
Oh, you're wonderful.
You may have to go and ask Chris then.
All right, here's a candy cane.
No, I can't get the cane, and just runs off.
That glitter, is that Jeffrey?
It's Jeffrey. It's a Candle. It is the exact shade of Jeffrey. It is.
I just found it on the ground while I was cleaning.
At least we'll have Barcelona.
Yes.
I'm gonna go tell his mom.
And that's where it breaks, Julie.
I feel like that's where we end. All right. So in the way that this is a failure, I'm gonna say that you do manage to get like something that like is a elf, but it's not what Lord Claus wanted. He wanted warm and he wanted fresh. All the elves just seem to not be able to produce that today, so it's like very cold, days old, the stuff that you find at the bottom of the barrel, and it is not the quality nor the quantity. You don't get half a pound, you get maybe like a handful, and he looks disappointed and sort of just says, "Oh, well, you know, it was quite an ask."
I'll also give him Jeffrey.
Candle, did you?
No, it's that new girl. I think she'll work out great.
Right, and just takes the naughty list and makes an amendment. All right, and with that, I guess we'll move on from elf murder and twisting ears. Oh my god, I'm actually loving this. And we're gonna start to like head towards wrapping up now. So what we'll do is we're gonna go on to Violetta's task, which I believe was being carried out by Candle, if I'm imagining this correctly.
Whole
And
car
then
of
we're going to
elves.
think up like so I'll give you this in advance. We're going to think up like a bit of an epilogue for our characters, sort of how Christmas went, and maybe add in a little couple of sort of splashes of chaos in there. But all right, so Candle, you must amass a 16-person snowball fight. Tell me how you do it.
I'm looking for about 12 at this point, so first I'll go get in the little vehicle and drive around the manor honking to try to get all those feral elves out of the bushes and stuff that don't hang out in the town much. Yeah, I'll milk all of them a little just in case it helps, and then be like, we have a snowball fight tonight. I need 2 teams. I have candy canes. But I'm mostly just using my driving skill as helping.
To drive around and,
Yeah.
and quickly assemble a team.
But I am quite on time because I am punctual.
Yes, absolutely. So obviously urgency, expediency was the thing. You know you need to get a vehicle involved here. There's no point using those legs. They're just not quick enough. You go around and the elves kind of like jump out the bushes, especially at the promise of candy cane. A couple of them sort of like the more feral ones, did you say? They kind of like jump up and they're like gnashing their teeth trying to get to the candy canes.
All right, you're on Team Cole.
Team Cole. Well, let's see how well this goes. So you have skills that you are getting to help in the task. Is anyone assisting Candle? Are you asking for assistance from anyone, or are you happy to just take this job
Probably
on your
not.
own?
Yeah, I check on the feral elves fairly often.
Yeah, so you don't need assistance. All right. So you have 1 light die. Are you willing to risk a little bit of your soul, Candle?
Can I risk my soul and stay on the good list?
You can, yes.
Then yes, I will.
Yeah. Lovely. So I want you to roll 1 light die and 1 dark die, and if the dark die has the higher number, then you we'll see what happens to you.
Right,
so
we have a 3 on the light die. So here's the dark die.
Oh boy.
That's a 6.
That's a 6. Fantastic. So the good news is full success because you got a 6, right?
On the dark
bad
die.
News
Yeah.
is that I'm guessing that a 6 is higher than your current holiday spirit.
Well, on the outside, yes.
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 On the outside. So I think that you're currently at 3, stage 3 of your holiday spirit. So you move that up to stage 4 now.
Oh,
So things are escalating somewhat for Candle. And yeah, do you know what? Describe to me what that looks like, I guess. Maybe find a way to connect the two. Obviously something happens that sort of triggers some kind of potential vision, I guess, from the sugar plum. So you manage to get these elves together, and they seem like they're pretty on board with what you want to do. And you have your fellow servants that have somewhat, some of them reluctantly agreed to be a part of this snowball fight. So you assemble in the attic, and the snowball fight begins. Now, Florian, you are particularly fond of snowballs. That's correct, aren't you? Remind me what stage you are at with your holiday spirit.
Stage 2.
And what? And read that out. What does that mean?
So, you're convinced impromptu snowball fights are fun, especially if someone's back is to you.
Perfect. So I feel like this snowball fight, and it reflects very well on you, Violetta, goes swimmingly. Like, actually, it's really fun. Like, Julie, it's a very good way of releasing the tension from the day, to be honest, because you're quite upset that you have murdered an elf today. Violetta, you thought that this was going to be a complete waste of your time, and you actually started to have a lot of fun. And Candle's looking very pleased with himself because look at all this wonderful holiday spirit. And we don't mind that a snowball fight is going on, and actually, because that table downstairs is hideous anyway, and could maybe do with a little bit of rejigging and restructuring. As Candle sort of oversees and sort of turns to kind of look out and just admire what's going on, I feel like at that point Florian yells, "Think fast!" and chucks a snowball, and it hits Candle straight across the back of the head, and it triggers a vision. Candle, tell me what the vision looks like.
It's Candle with a red robe and fires burning behind him as there's an army of little elves with single hands going into the air, and we go, "For Jeffrey! For Jeffrey!"
Oh, no!
And then he comes out of it.
You come out of it, and oh my goodness, so read out exactly what your new holiday spirit entails.
Oh, for 4, I'm gonna have to find that. My apologies.
You're all right.
I've just been staring at y'all.
No, that's okay. I absolutely had the same thing.
All right. For 4, under Visions of the Sugar Plum, the arrival is imminent. Either it's time to flee or fight. Is that what you were referring to?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I was referring to. So yes, you now know. You had this sort of underlying sense that something is coming. Something that
Time of change.
A change is in the air.
Mm.
And these stories that have been fueled by General Moroz that you've kind of heard whisperings of around, you're beginning to think that perhaps there's something to this, and then suddenly you're hit with this vision of an elf uprising within the manor grounds that comes about as a result of this accidental murder of poor. I say accidental. It was definitely not accidental, but the intention was not to be spiteful.
Should have told her about the ears.
And I think that we'll kind of wrap up on this idea of just all of this wonderful Christmas spirit going around. Everyone looks happy, and then it's just Candle's devastated, terrified face. And we'll wrap it up there because we've not got long before we are kind of at the end of our allotted time. So thank you so much for playing, my lovely players. You were wonderful. You came up with some fantastic ideas. You made me laugh a lot. Yeah, this was really, really fun. What I would like you to do, I'm going to go around. I'm going to actually go backwards this time, just for fun. So I would like you to do your this is who I am, this is what I do as a person, as a player. But I would also like you to give a little mini epilogue for your character, or a little bit of contribution into how you think Christmas went for the Claus family. Overall, sounds like we've got a potential elf uprising on our hands to talk about. So yeah, we will start then with Wraith.
That's me. I'm Wraith. You can find me on Twitter at SlenderNoia. I do largely charity streams now. A lot of TTRPG stuff. I am I'm casting crew over at Exquisite Corpse Presents. We're going to be coming back from all of our general hiatuses from the holidays soon. I don't think this weekend, but next weekend? Mm-hmm. We're going to see.
I love that as if I know. I was like, yeah. And then I was like, well, I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know my own schedule. And that's really all I have going on right this moment. It's just all of the stuff that's working to get things back off the ground after the holidays were insane. As for epilogue for Violetta, I think largely she'll be found, especially with Snow's inclination to keeping the manor as cold as possible, and especially post snowball fight, she can be found warming up in the kitchen a lot.
Ooh, maybe the library isn't a place for trysts after all. We're getting to know Florian a little better.
Absolutely.
Do you think that there was maybe some tension during the snowball fight? You were impressed with Florian's skills as he kind of knocked out Candle briefly?
Oh, she absolutely shoved Snow down the back of his shirt.
Oh! Ren's face was like,
Kind of liked it though.
how dare you? All right. Thank you very much for that, Wraith. Let's move on then to Rara, who is playing our beloved Candle. Go for it. Tell me about you and tell me about Candle.
I'm Rara. I forgot to do the he, they at the beginning. I was too happy about Christmas. I play in a lot of games, and I run a little podcast where I try to make people cry with wizards. That's pretty much it. But Candle is going to stop fearing a coup from the general. It might not be logical, but that is the number one threat to Santa losing his seat of power. So using the elves, he is going to prepare for that, hoard weapons, sharpen candy canes, and then one day he's going to talk to Rudolph as though Rudolph used to be an elf. And he's going to try to convince Rudolph to help, maybe accidentally not guide the general's way too bright one of these evenings, so that we can keep Santa safe, and one might say a compound with elven gods around him, so no one can take his job because we love him.
Oh my goodness, you're convinced that the general is the person that's going to be the problem here.
Well, he'll try to seat the sun, and we're just not ready for that.
We're just not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's where Candle says, as we kind of heading into Christmas, Candle's got only, this seeds priority of anything else. The children being happy, that's all very well, but we need to stop the coup. Okay, well that probably segues us nicely into Riley and Julie. So please tell us about you, Anna, and then tell us how poor Julie's had a rough first day. How you get on.
Hi, I'm Anna or Riley, whichever one you prefer. I use it-in pronouns, and I'm definitely human. You can find me literally anywhere at Peculiar Planets. I write comics, I write tabletop stuff, I also do actual plays. Tomorrow you can see me over at the Misadventurers League. We play Teens in Space. It starts at 7 p.m. GMT. And then Sunday I play Pathfinder over at Vibe Tribe. It starts at 5 p.m. GMT. I have to think for a second. And as for Julie, I think either she's gonna die in that mansion or like just getting on the naughty list and then just like immediately mysteriously the housekeeper is gone again, or she gets recruited to do all the dirty work and it slowly corrupts their soul.
I am gonna offer the idea that actually Lord Claus gets the understanding that perhaps Candle, as wonderful as he is just a little bit too pure-hearted for the kind of job that he needs. So the amendment on the naughty list was actually to say it was just this big. It was not actually the naughty list. It was the list of people that can help me, and Candle's name was the only one that was written originally, and he's just crossed it out and written "really?" ? And now you're about to just get continual requests,
really
darker and darker things, and you now have to navigate. Is this actually a dark thing that I'm being asked to do, or do I just need to twist the ear again and it's actually so you're just trying to work out if
I like that
murderous and terrifying, or if it's actually just some Christmas thing that you do not understand.
Yeah, I like
all
that.
Right. And also Santa, seems to talk to you a lot, and there seems to be like everywhere you go, there seems to be a Santa just watching. How's it getting on, Julie?
No.
All right, well, that leaves us last but certainly not least, which seems to be like my favorite thing to say in these moments. Let's head to Ren and Florian, and please tell me, Florian, you seem to be getting a little bit of company in the kitchen, but tell me, Ren. I did also absolutely love Wraith's Violetta. I'm gonna go be cute and flirty in the kitchen. Candle. I'm gonna start a war. Cool. Yeah. Tell me, Ren, about yourself, and then about what happens with Florian.
Hi, I'm Ren. I am Allegory of Death on Twitter and Masqueran on TikTok, where I do cosplay sometimes. You can find me on the internet. I'm somewhere. Florian. The first thing I think Florian is more fascinated about what happened to young Yonia, and I think he's going to see if he can try to like actually harness that kind of transformation magic to like make it like an actual like treat thing that people can like, you know, kind of in a Wonka kind of way.
Oh.
So that might be something.
It's gonna be like Santa's manor, and then Florian's little like factory on the side.
Essentially, yeah. That's long term. Short term, over Christmas, with Violetta hanging around, I think he might just, you know, make a few extra sugar cookies and like gently slip it to her, like, you know where to keep these.
Ooh, in that crystalline jar. All right. So, yeah, I think that a carroty nose from Florian, from Yolnir, sorry. I think that it ends up like, actually, because you did get a success, I think that Yolnir actually ends up being like, oh my god, this could be a thing, and then the two of you end up sort of going into business, and it ends up being that Yolnir gets like a lot of focus from it.
He has somewhere to direct his attention now.
Like, overcome the parents and be better than them. Just he's like, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing, and me and Florian, we got this. So I think that you do a really good job there. All right. Well, thank you so much for playing with me, my lovely players. I will just quickly, briefly introduce myself. I am Kat. I'm otherwise known as the Law Mistress. It's a new year. I haven't got a whole lot going on. I'm kind of really just working on like writing, which is a big part of what I do here in the TTRPG space. I want to write more games this year and join more jams and do cool things like that. Alongside that, I'm also going to be streaming. So I will be streaming one shots such as this, maybe getting into a few limited series here and there, where time and the retail job that I work allows. And beyond that, I also like to stream solo games. And so I've already streamed a couple of them. I'll probably do a couple more like wintry themed ones because we're coming out of winter, maybe a little bit less festive. This might be my last festive. It is 12th night, so beyond here now, we really can't like we can't keep this Christmas spirit going too much longer. So I will do that. But I have, everyone is yelling affiliate partner cat. Okay, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's you know, it's my first day of being affiliate here. Let's just calm down, everyone. I wanted to say thank you to, I do see that I have subs. And that's really heartwarming to see because I really wasn't expecting that, and I know a lot of like Twitch users are like, oh, subscribe, and I'm not like in that mind frame yet, so I've not actually mentioned it at all. But thank you so much for those that you have subscribed. I really appreciate it. And it warms my heart, and it's very good Christmas spirit from all of you, so thank you. I will now be drawing for the competition winners. We did a contest to see who was going to win copies, and I think we had 3, didn't we? So I need to draw 3 times. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Giveaways. Manage. Okay, so okay, so we actually own. I'm going to give you a little bit longer to enter, just because we actually, if anyone hasn't entered, we actually only have two people that have entered. So if not, then I will just be giving it to those 2 people, I guess. So
Congratulations.
Congratulations to those 2 people that entered. It is gonna be. That's this. I'm gonna roll it now. Let's draw those. So Anne or Girl Wonder, you have one, and Critical Chip, Justin. Well done. You both win copies of the game, and I will keep aside that other itch code for some other purpose. But yes, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday period as we kind of start in our 2024 and a lovely new year. And we shall raid. Oh, now this is perfect. We're going to raid Tony +1, who is part of the +1 EXP team, who helped create this game. So we're going to go raid him now. And I believe that he is playing a Mouse Ritter mega dungeon. I don't know if anyone has played Mouse Ritter, but it is a super cute game. Very different vibe quite often to this. But why? That's very fun. So let's raid him and say cheerio to the rest of you. But thank you very much for joining us, and see you next time. Bye.